Hello everyone, this is Rebecca from Puppetry Dishwa and welcome to Thematic Thursday. Today's project we're going to be making some fans. Now this is a little big for what I had in mind. It's from 6-inch strips, but it would make a good addition to a cover if you want to do a cover for a journal. It would make a good cover. It's a functioning, it does work, fan. It doesn't close, but it does function. This is the first one I made. Now this is out of 3-inch strips of paper that's just been punched and a little stained, coffee stained trim. I can't even think of the name of it now, but anyway, it started out being double-sided paper, but then I put those two double-sided papers together to give it some extra thickness. And then this is the second one I made, and we'll make one like this in this project. So let me put these to the side and we'll get started. Now I already have a strip here that I'm going to use, but what I did was I took two 12 by 12s, sorry, not two 12 by 12s. I took a 12 by 12, cut it in half at 6 inches, glued them together back to back, making sure that both sides were right way up, and then cut that in half to give me two 3-inch by 12 strips. So if you make them out of just plain double-sided paper, they might be a little flimsy, so that's why I glued two pieces of double-sided cardstock together just to make them a little thicker. So the first thing that we need to do is cut this in half at 6 inches, because it only takes 6 inches to make that little fan that you just saw. So we'll just set that one aside, and I'm going to get my little trimmer to do the 1-inch, because this one it's just easier for me to do, and I see I need to trim that little bitty piece off that is barely a sliver, but I want to take it off. I mean, that much. Okay, so now something that I'm doing this in 1-inch strips, so you'll need 6 of them for this little 3-inch fan. Now for the 6-inch fan, I did them at 1.5, but then I used my side paper punch, and that's brought them down to about 1/2 or right at it. But anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm cutting off 1 inch at a time, and because I want my fan to keep the pattern of the paper, like here, I'm numbering them just on the back side right near the bottom. I'm just putting, because that's going to get covered up. So I'm just going to number them, just because that's just something I want to do. I want to keep that the pattern going. So you just carry on until you get 6 of them done. And so if you do, I better watch what I'm doing on. cut it too big, and then that'll mess everything up. If you do one sheet of 12 by 12 and cut it to get in the 3-inch strips, then you can get 4 of these little fans out of that when you double it. If you didn't double it, you could well, I guess it would be the same, wouldn't it? Anyway, you get 4 out of a 12 by 12. So yeah. I've always loved the old Victorian fans, and I have 2 from the 1920s in my vintage collection. But that's kind of deep under my bed, so I didn't try to dig those out. I don't know if I did a video with those in them or not. I think I just might have taken pictures back, because this has been like a couple of years ago. Okay, so let me get on with the program here. So the next thing I need to do is I'm going to trim the tops to give them a little cute little shape. And I'm going to use this one. Now, on this punch, you can use it this way or this way. It don't have the slot that you put them into like normal tags, and it cut out the whole shape. You can put any length or width in here and cut off the corner to make a tag. But I'm going to use this one for these little ones. So if you ever get one of these, I mean, I love them. I love it because that way you can make a tag as long or as wide as you want. But I did one, or at least I thought I did, with it turned the other way, but I'm going to turn it this way. Anyway, the way you use it is you punch it, you turn it over so that you get the same thing on the other side. And then you get this cute little top. And it's this, this Victorian look anyway, so, that's what you want. So you just do them all and make sure that you do, the tops and not the bottoms. And another thing too is I had these 2 pieces of this Victorian like wallpaper cardstock that I'd had for ages, and just didn't have a project that I really wanted to use it for, because it was too pretty to just use on anything unless it was kind of Victorian themed. So I think this project lends itself to the design of the paper really well. Okay, now move that to the side, clean up my mess. I should have my thing over here, but it's over to the left of me with all my tools and stuff sitting on it, so I gotta roll my sleeves up. It's cool, but I don't like my sleeves getting in the way. Okay, now the way I did the angles, here it is, on this other little fan, on this little fan, is I just put me a little mark at the 1/4 inch mark and at the 3/4 inch mark at the bottom of each one. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then we're going to make we're going to cut cut them at angles to give it a better fan-like shape. See how these are angled in slightly? And I know I've got these all out of sequence, but because I have them numbered, I can, when I get ready to put it together, they'll all fall into place. And that's just a me thing. I like to keep the order. Yeah, I did the big one you saw in the picture, or at the beginning of the video. I did it earlier today, and it was very involved because of using the punch that punches the row on the side of the paper, and there was 8 of them instead of 6 of them. So I was like, I don't think I want to do that in a video. Let's do these little bitty ones. They're cuter anyway. I got out everything ready. The only thing I didn't get was some more sari silk. So when I come to that part, I'll have, or that's not sari silk, but the trim. I'll have to pause the camera to do that. But anyway, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go from that little, it's not really an edge or a corner per se, but I'm going to go from that point down to where I cut that mark. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm just going to go from there to there, real careful like, and cut that off. And then I'm just going to turn it around, make sure that that little mark is you know, right on that cut line, and cut it off. And so you'll end up with some of these. So let me just what I'm going to do is since my camera runs out of battery so fast, I'm going to pause the camera. I'll cut all these and I'll ink them, and then I'll come back and we'll start assembly. And in the meantime, I can get this right here so that I don't have to go look for it later. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, I got these cut and inked, but I saved one so to show you how I did the bottoms, because I realized I hadn't done that before. So I'm just these are still a corner, it's just not a right angle or a 45-degree angle. So if you still use this, I'm using a number 7 on this. So I just put it in so that it gets one side, and then I turn it so that it gets the other side like that, and that gives me a rounded bottom on the tag. And then I just take my little bit of ink and go around the edges on both sides just to give it that more of a vintage look. And you could make these out of, you know, any heavier paper, or you could do them out of something like a file folder and line it with book pages or music paper or anything like that, and that would look really pretty. Okay, so I've got these in line. So what you want to do now is you start with number 1, or ever how you want, ever how you want to do it, but obviously you just stack them up and come all the way to the end. And what I like to do is put me just a little clip there on the end, and a little clip just enough to hold it. I got one here that's just a little bit out of line here, but I'll fix it in a minute. Oh my goodness. So what I'm going to be doing is drawing me a dot right there, and I'm going to take this tool that I found at I want to say an antique store, believe it or not. Honestly, I don't know where I got it. But anyway, I know that it was on clearance, and it could have been Hobby Lobby, but I've had it for, oh, a long time. Probably 6, I know I've had it 6 going on 7 years. Anyway, it's a, you can see the name. But what I'm going to do here is, now, I use an old vinyl placemat when I'm using this, just to keep me from going through my important stuff. Anyway, you just push it and it turns and it cuts through. Now it comes with 3 little hole punchers, and this is the middle sized one. The big one cuts through like a hot knife through butter, but this one, for whatever reason, just is not the same. But the big one's just too big for this one. So usually what I do is when it starts showing on the other side, I'll hit it from the other side. So this takes just a second to get through all that. And my table is quite high and I'm quite short. So I don't have a good we're almost there. Yeah, I think I must have used this one more than the rest of them. Way back when I first got it. Alright, now I can see it through here. Let's see if I can poke that out, because it's being stubborn and I'm running out of strength. Okay, so that's got that. And then we take, move this out of the way. We take, I found this little jar of brads at a thrift store a couple of weeks ago, I guess. I guess that one's fine. And it had all of these little brads minus the ones I've already used. And did I just pick up the one off the side? No. And a few thumbtacks for 50 cents. And then this little bitty jar that I think it had sample jelly in it. 99 cents. I said 50 cents, didn't I? Well, I guess it was 99 cents. Anyway, I got it. That's what matters. Now, because this one is so little, it has a long arm and a short arm. And I'm just gonna, you don't want it too tight because you want it to be able to open, but you want it snug. So, and then, now I've got a little tool over there, I can cut that off with it, but I'm not going to do it right now. But the other thing I have that I want to do is, this is just a 1-inch circle punch, and I'm going to just cut it down slightly. That's a little bit more than I want it to be. And that might have been too much. That'll work. I just want to cover that up because what I'm going to use these little ones for is like corner pockets. So when I put something down in there, I don't want it to catch on that. So I'm just covering it up. You can glue a piece of paper over it, but I just like using this sticky back stuff that is being stubborn right now. But, oh, there we go, finally. Well, I know I saw it open. Oh. My goodness. Okay. So we're going to put, let's turn it this way. I'm going to put that just like that. And then I just take my thumbnail and just go in real tight and press in really tight. And I've got a metal cutter. I'll clip that little bitty tip off right there. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is the way I like to open them. I like to open them so that the part right there is just barely overlapped, and that's and then it's just ever how wide it is. It just depends on, is that two? No. It depends on what design you've cut them at the top, kind of exactly how wide they'll open, but 1 inch is as big as it's going to get. But there we go. Let's see how close it is to this other one. Now, I used the same punch, this one, for this one, but I had it turned the other way. So for this one, I had it turned this way. See that right there? But for this one, I had it turned this way. So this is what gives me the flat edge here, but on this one, it gave me the curved top, curved top, as opposed to the flat top. And then on this one, I used this one. Let's see, how did I do that? I did it because I cut part of this off. So, oh yeah, right here. I did it this way and then flipped it over and did it the other way. But this part right here, right there, where the white is, I cut that off when I did these parts. Otherwise, it would have been, each one of them would have been about 1/8 of an inch wider, or 1/4 inch total. So this fan would have been an inch or 2 inches. Been at least an inch wider, or an inch, you know. Anyway, enough of the math problem. My brain is just not quite there. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I decided to use some lace on this one. And I might have too much, but I can always cut it down. So I'm just going to find a nice little circle here, and I think I want it to go kind of this way. And this is fabric glue, as you can see there, and I'm just kind of going to go in this shape right across through here, just to give me that glue. And I dyed this with some coffee, but it was some brewed coffee, just a little left over from the pot this morning, so I don't really like the color it turned out, but it is what it is. So now what I like to do is I want to bunch it up a little bit, and that takes a little bit of just a little bit more effort than just putting it straight down. So this might take a second, just because you kind of have to hold it until the glue sort of takes. And with the trim, that little thin trim, it don't take but a second. But on this crochet in place, it does take a minute for it to, it has to soak in, I think, a little bit, and then actually set. That might have been too big of a squirt. Yep, I believe so. But, okay. And the one thing too is when it dries, it does dry shiny, but I have some matte medium that I can paint over it that will put the matte back. There goes my alarm telling me that I've been recording too long. My camera has a 27-minute timer, or not 27 but 29-minute timer, so I set my tablet to go off at 27 minutes, but I actually stopped the video a while ago, so it started it over. I went looking about 2 months ago to upgrade the camera, but I wanted a little point and shoot because that's what I have. I didn't want a regular movie camera, and what I learned that is that the FCC will only allow like point and shoot cameras to film 30 minutes at a time, because they can, I think it's the FCC, I might be wrong about that, but anyway, whoever makes those rules, if it's over 30 minutes they consider it a movie camera, and that changes things, evidently. Alright, I don't know if I like how that looks or not, but it's not bad. I probably should have got some more of that little blue out, but I already had 2 of them, so I didn't want to do that again. But I'm going to trim that there, then kind of rough up that edge a little bit. That one's fine, although I think I'm just going to knock that down. But there is our little fan. Now obviously this still needs to dry, and I'll take the matte medium and touch up where the glue is shiny. Put that back there just a little bit. But what a cute little pocket can be, like a corner pocket. Now obviously you can close it up more and make it at a right angle for a page, or you could just set it in however you want to set it. You could set it like this and use it as a pocket this way. Quite a bit of uses. You could use them in many different ways. You could just make them to look at. But once you get your angles, I wish I quit hitting it. Once you get your angles and your whatever top that you want to make, I mean whatever decorative corner punches that you have, you can just punch the corners and you'll get that little Victorian look, and it'll turn out to be really pretty. And just a little piece of lace or some sort of silk or string, something that will go over it like that. And of course these are for decorative purposes, not for the actual, you know, to close up. But that's a little bit different procedure. But I thought this would be a cute little project, and I think also good for a mass make project. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon.